I finally finished the complete set of the Lorcana First Chapter. There's 204 cards in the set, plus 12 enchanteds that aren't included in the total set, in my opinion. So I got 2 of those I'll show you later. But to start out with the Amber section, these are some of the ones we got. Okay, so to point one out that's really good, this Lilo. Costs 1 to play and it gets 2 lures, so that's a good one to have because you can get some more really quick. And there's Maximus. Bodyguards are really good. They're really hard to get out sometimes unless you have a deck that's prepared for that. I really like that Mickey because he's overall a well-rounded card. I mean, it doesn't have any abilities, but good lore, good hit points, good attack. It's Mini Moana. It comes with a starter deck, which that's a pretty good one, except the attack's low. Prince Philip. Rapunzel, she's a legendary, so she's the highest rarity in the normal set if you don't include enchanteds. So that's a good one. Okay, then we got Sebastian, Simba, another bodyguard, Stitch. She's a legendary, and they also have the enchanted heart of him too, which I actually have one of those. I just got it yesterday, in fact. Then you have the regular Stitch, which he's not a bad one to get out. Then Stitch Rockstar, he's a really cool one. I've found several of those. Timon. Okay, got Healing Glow, which it's interesting. A lot of people never play some of these action cards. You never see them. Okay, now we're getting into the Amethyst. This Dr. Facilier is really good. I like to get him out when I can, but he's a high cost, so it's hard to get him out. Then this Elsa, I believe that's what the enchanted Elsa card's based on, this one. And that's the most expensive one, probably will stay that way forever. I think it runs around 600 or 650 right now for the enchanted version. Flotsam, I like to use Flotsam and Jetsam together, they're pretty good. You can get them both out. There's Jetsam, so one has evasive, one has rush, and when you have both of them out, they gain each other's abilities. And this Maleficent's really good too, because she gets 2 lore. She costs 1. Another Maleficent, Marshmallow. This Mickey's from a starter deck as well. And there's an enchanted version of that, which I have. Olaf, Pascal. Rafiki, who has Rush. Sven, the Queen's a super rare. She's just okay in my opinion. Ursula, she's a legendary, so she's really cool. But she's a high cost. But she's really good because if you look at her ability, when you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore and you may draw a card for each lore that was lost. So if you're in a big group, that's pretty good. Friends on the other side, I use that a lot to get some extra cards. Okay, now we're getting into Emerald. Beast Wolfsbane. I think there's an enchanted on that, I'm not 100% certain. The Duke of Weaseltown. John Silver, he was one we never drew. We actually had to buy him. He might have been the only one from the first chapter we had to buy because we couldn't pull him. He's a legendary, so he's harder to get. I've never seen anyone play him at leagues. But Cusco, I've seen people play. He's pretty good. He has ward. And then this character is challenged and banished. You may banish the challenging character, which is really good, and he gets 3 lore. Mad Hatter is also a really good one. Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue, that is also there's an enchanted version of that. Mother Gothel is good. Those characters exerted, opposing characters can't quest. Mother Knows Best. Return chosen character to their player's hand. That one's pretty good. Okay, that's the end of Emerald, getting into Ruby. Okay, this Aladdin's from a starter, and he's really cool. So his ability is, during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore, and each opponent loses 2 lore. Which really helps you. This also is pretty cool. Just cool art, not necessarily the card itself. Brave Little Tailor. So this card, pretty interesting. This is the foil version. The regular version is worth like $7. The foil version is worth like 42. So it's crazy the price difference. He's really good, but he costs a lot to get out, so it's hard to get him out, but he's evasive and he gets a ton of lore. Maui, he can't quest, but he's got a lot of a big attack, and he's reckless and has rush. Maleficent Dragon, it's really sought out one. If you have the foil one, it's worth like $70. This one's the regular. But when you play this character, you may banish chosen character and prelude to the Dragonfire card. And it's, I think it might be the highest cost out of all of them. It's 9. Okay, we got Milan. This Rapunzel. I like to play her. When you play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore. Stitch is pretty cool, but he's a high cost. Tekka, okay, Tekka is another one that doesn't quest. There's Tigger, Be Prepared. I like to play this one. Banishes all characters in play, which is good if you don't have many out and your opponent does. And also good if they don't have many cards in their hand. So there's that Dragonfire I mentioned earlier. Tangle I like to use. Each opponent loses 1 lore, low cost. Okay, Sword of Truth. Okay, now we're into Sapphire. So Aurora, I believe, is an enchanted as well. They have an enchanted. And Belle, Strange but Special, there's an enchanted version of that. That's the legendary, so she's really spendy. She's pretty good. If you have 10 cards in your ink well or more, then you get +4 lore. Or you can quest for +4. Okay, we got Flounder, Grammatala. She's a basic one, but she's pretty good because when she dies, she becomes ink. It's a Hades legendary. When you play this character, you may put chosen opposing character in their player's inkwell face down. I'm not crazy about that. It's not the best. That Maleficent's a pretty good one. High lore. This Mickey Mouse Detective is really good. When you play this character, the top card in your deck is turned into ink and exerted. Foss is pretty good. Robin Hood's just cool. Okay, now we're getting into still. Okay, so on still we got the Beast, Hard-Headed. Got several Captain Hooks, and they do a lot of different versions of the same characters, which is okay because they make them all unique. There's a Legendary Gantu. Characters with cost 2 or less can't challenge your characters. I think that Hercules might have an enchanted version as well. That Maui's pretty good. Mickey Mouse Musketeer. Okay, Simba. He's got some good abilities, I think. During your turn, this character gains evasive, and they get +4 attack while challenging. So that would be an 8 attack. So he can basically take out, I think, any character. Okay, this Simba. I think one of the Simbas has an enchant as well. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 1 lore. It's a pretty good ability. Tekka Legendary. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you gain 2 lore. And then Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, she's really popular. She's a super rare. Whenever you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. That's pretty helpful. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to chosen opposing character. That's helpful as well. Whole New World. That one's, I think, about a $10 card maybe, but basically play it. Everyone discards and draws 7 cards, which frankly, it's usually good for me whenever, even if someone plays it and not myself, I'm usually fine. Fire the Cannons. I hate that because usually I have evasive characters and that's a way to kill them, as well as Grab Your Swords. Deal 2 damage to each opposing character. That's a really good card. Ransack, Smash. Smash does 3. That's another one I don't like to get hit with. And then that's it. So that's card 204. The Blaster is the last one. If you look on the bottom here, it has which number they are in the set. So now I'll show you the foils and the oversized cards from the gift set, and then my enchanteds. Okay, so here's an official Lorcana binder. Keep all our foils in it, as well as the oversized from the gift set, and possibly some of the promos from leagues. If they're in there, I'll show you that too. But it's a 4x4 is what it holds. So the price differences between a foil and a regular, sometimes pretty significant. Sometimes, I would say usually it's at least double. Sometimes it's like a lot. Like I said, the Maleficent Dragon is like a $70 foil if you have that, which I think we've sold some off just because you can get so much money for them. And we don't consider, or not even planning on going for a full set of foils, because that's just a lot to do. We're content with just the regulars in our set. So that piece Wolfsbane actually might be worth some money. I'll have to check that out. This binder, it's pretty good. We have the, yeah, like I said, it has special slots for the oversized cards in the gift set. It's pretty cool. I guess maybe you could frame them or something. And then a few more foils. But Lorcana announced they're going to be releasing a new set like every quarter, so it's going to probably be kind of hard to keep up with, but I'm going to try because it's still pretty hot right now. You have to be lucky to find boosters in the wild. You can still get starter decks fairly easy, at least at the game stores I go to. Okay, so these are some promos from playing at leagues, and they have that special icon at the bottom, which they announced they're going to do a enchanted promo, and then there's the full art picture. Okay, this is the first enchanted we pulled. It's a Mickey Mouse Wayward Sorcerer, and I think right now it's going for a little over 200, and we're planning on keeping this one. It was the first one we pulled, and frankly, we'd like to get them all eventually. I don't think that will happen, but we'll do our best. And then this Stitch Carefree Surfer is, I think, going for about 320 right now. And we possibly might sell that and then buy a cheaper one. But these are really cool one. I have noticed we don't have any of the Floodborn set in Enchanted, but I have noticed they aren't as pretty in my opinion. They don't have as much of a rainbow effect, which I think is cool. I was playing this lady last night at League, and she had an Enchanted in her play deck, and I almost didn't even notice until she said something, but it was pretty cool to see that. But if you enjoyed this video and want to see my complete Floodborn set, make sure you subscribe and like. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.